In a world long ago, there lived a righteous man named Noah who walked faithfully with God. But the earth had grown full of violence and wickedness, and people had forgotten how to be good. God looked upon the world he had made, and his heart was deeply grieved by what he saw. And so God resolved to cleanse the earth with a great flood, washing away all its corruption. Yet Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord, for he alone remained faithful and true. God spoke to Noah and said, "The end of all things has come, for the earth is filled with violence. Make yourself an ark of strong wood," God told him, "and cover it with pitch inside and out." God gave him the design, a mighty vessel with rooms and 3 decks, a window, and a single door. "But with you I will keep my promise," God said. "You and your family shall be kept safe. Bring 2 of every living creature into the ark," God said, "to keep them alive through the flood. And gather every kind of food, that you and the animals may have enough through the long days ahead." Noah did everything just as God commanded him, trusting the Lord with all his heart. He gathered great beams of strong timber and began the enormous task before him. Day after day, Noah and his sons labored, shaping the mighty ark plank by plank. Slowly, over many long years, the great wooden ark rose high against the sky. His neighbors gathered to laugh, mocking the old man building a giant boat on dry land. But Noah kept working, warning them gently that a great flood was surely coming. The people only scoffed and turned away, refusing to believe his words. At last, after all those years, the enormous ark stood finished and ready. Noah sealed every seam with dark pitch, making the great vessel watertight and strong. Then he filled the ark with food and supplies for the long journey ahead. And then a wonder unfolded, as the animals came, 2 by 2, from every corner of the earth. Elephants and lions, birds and creeping things, all marched peacefully up the ramp. Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, and their wives stepped aboard the waiting ark. And then the Lord himself shut the door of the ark, sealing them safely inside. Suddenly the fountains of the deep burst open, and the windows of heaven were flung wide. Rain began to pour from the darkened sky, heavier than the world had ever seen. For 40 days and 40 nights, the rain fell without ceasing upon the earth. The waters rose higher and higher, and the great ark was lifted gently from the ground. The ark floated upon the surging waters, carrying its precious cargo safely above. The flood covered even the highest mountains, and all the earth vanished beneath the waves. But inside the ark, Noah and every living thing were kept safe and dry. For many long months, the ark drifted across an endless, silent sea of water. Then God remembered Noah and sent a wind to pass over the face of the waters. The rain stopped, the deep was stilled, and slowly the waters began to recede. At last the ark came to rest upon the high mountains of Ararat. As the waters sank lower, the tops of the mountains rose into view. Noah opened the window and sent out a raven, which flew back and forth over the waters. Then he sent a dove, but it found no place to rest, and returned to his hand. 7 days later he sent the dove again, and it returned holding a fresh olive leaf. He waited 7 more days and sent the dove once more, and this time it did not return. Noah knew then that the waters had finally dried, and the land was ready once more. God told Noah to come out, and he and his family and all the animals stepped onto dry land. Noah built an altar and offered his thanks to God for carrying them safely through the storm. And God set a rainbow in the sky, a promise that never again would a flood destroy the earth. From Noah's faith, life began anew, a reminder that hope always rises after the storm.